Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We playing in the Incursion League as a hardcore solo self-found Arc Trapper. And today we're gonna run the Labyrinth for the first time. So right now we're level 41, have reached the middle of Act 4, as is the normal thing to do before heading into the lab. Place is only level 33, so I'm a little bit over leveled. All the incursions definitely make it easy to become overleveled and remain overleveled. And the gear finds from incursions are also pretty good. It looks like it might be the way through, as usual. And indeed, I see light at the end of the tunnel. So the latest incursion run, last episode, we found ourselves a helmet, and indeed this is where I need to be. Turns out this was actually a pretty decent helmet, and Haku went up to level 4 with my daily crafts just before I started recording, so I'm now able to craft fire resistance on top. And the result is we're now maxed out on resists. We got almost 1200 points of life, as well as a little bit of energy shield. So, pretty decent shape.
The weary traveler draws close to the end of the path.
So let's see what we're gonna get today.
An emperor is only as efficient as those he commands.
What's in there? Ooh, generals. Okay. So, gonna ignore you over there, mister, and focus on the on these folks. So that one is dead. Now we need to wait for the next of the Muppets to appear. Luckily, I'm very fast. He's not. Look at that. Can't afford to shock too much. Come on. There we go.
Give up yourself.
Oh, I'm not giving up myself. I'm just waiting, biding my time. Look at that. Can't touch this.
Must I do everything myself?
Well, Mr. Izaro, that is the general goal. Also,
Such resilience.
note I used myself a Vaal Arc trap.
Determination overcomes domination.
I
This is the one law of sovereignty.
So I definitely enjoy the new rules for charging Vaal gems. Unique enemies grant you souls, I think, equal to 1% of their... Every time you deal them 1% of their max life, you get a soul. Something along those lines. And then there's a little bit of a cooldown, I think, to prevent abuse or something along those lines. But end result is if you take out the lieutenants first, you will be able to just charge up your Vaal Arc and use it against Izaro. Let's see, do get totem, that's good. So, prophecy triggered, we got the accursed choir and ooh, a decorative chest. Heart of the gargoyle. Today is a bad day to be a gargoyle. I like it when there's places in the middle that you can just stand on. Okay, poem indicated we were on the right track, and look at that, a door. Side path, so that's not entirely the one I want, so is up maybe the way to go? No, this is a dead end. Then we just keep sticking to the wall here and probably over there. Usually it is counterclockwise from the top. Oh, look at that. Fire stuff. Okay, it's proceeding. I don't see any levers, this is just a fire thing to run through. Ooh, hot, 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 and under. And look at that, there's a doorway. And that is the next trial. I like it when the normal lab is just efficient and short.
When the time comes to strike, an emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain doubt is to dance with
Heart of the gargoyle. That one is gonna go
Some things that slumber should never be awoken.
They all look alike. They all look alike. Which one should I pick? Steel,
Claim
Quicksilver,
inheritance.
Granite. Oh, yo. That one is gone. That one is gone. Yep, and that one is gone too.
The loyal
Look
must
at that.
be avenged.
Okay. And Izaro, one more trap, and Vaal Arc is up. Yep. Bear, Vaal Arc. And I dodged that one. Character page lists my dodge chance as 56%, or my evasion chance.
The emperor who sits alone on his throne.
40% chance to dodge, and then another 80% chance to block. So regular attacks have a very low chance of actually coming through. I think 1 in 5, maybe? Haven't done the exact math. Well, it seems like a decent number. Spells only 30% get dodged, so 70% goes through. Not entirely trusting what's on the other side of that, so for the time being, let's see if we can head out this way. Okay, maybe not. No, okay. So it looks like I'll just have to go here. Exit's probably up there. Sometimes this is just a bonus room and then the exit is still there. Ouch, 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 ouch. Let's throw some traps. Traps are good for recharging Quicksilver flasks. Okay. Lever, lock door. Okay, that doesn't really bring me anywhere. Ah, this is for getting your friends through. That was it. Also, I see traps now. And there we go. Yeah, see? Another lever. That way you can get your friends through without having them have to dodge the lava. It's a good thing. Ooh, double ghosties. Oh, come on, city ghost. Stand still. Here. Eat my traps. And you dropped Joel, an amulet. Okay. Ow. Yeah, not self. Don't get too close. I tried to position myself, but I accidentally ran in. Still rather gnarly kind of trap. Having a doorway, just have those skewers come out and then just try to poke holes in you. It looks really unpleasant. But I suppose that is the point. That also looks trapped. This room makes no sense. It's a decoy. Okay, that one also had spikes in the side. This one is not trapped. And there we go. Oh, yeah, branching points doesn't really matter which one you pick. It's always there at the latest one. Branching. Just to get you acquainted with the process, that you can't always directly go to Izaro. Poem usually indicates you are on the right way. If you're not fond of trying to read all the signs, or no, if you actually want to invest some time in trying to do this efficiently, pewelab.com, I think, is still the place to go. Where folks from the community just every day post a guide for how to do it exactly. At least a schematic with the where you can find all the traps and the directions and things like that. This would be easier if the enemy would just charge me rather than stay at a distance, but I suppose that is the point. let's put a decoy. Evasion up with my flask. Stibnite flasks are pretty darn good for getting your evasion up even further. So let's resummon my golem. Hello you. Goodbye you. Ah, so we got some devourers underneath. That triggers things. Okay, porcupines. Okay, this secret better be worth it. Labyrinth Trove, that's a key, is it? Oh, it's just a chest. Already got a chest. That's also good. It's basically as good as a key. Without having to defeat Izaro for it. So it might even be better than a key. Also, this is not the way forward. And I did let myself get distracted by something that was not the exits. Well, here, oh, passage. That's not what I want. I want the one that heads over there. The one that leads me to Mr. Izaro. Again, no, you just go counterclockwise, and usually that gets you where you need to be. Relatively soon. Oh, look at that. The map says there's a way through. So there must be a way through. And then see Dark Shrine. And indeed, it's a Dark Shrine. It's a mysterious Dark Shrine.
A potent little gift from
Acceleration Shrine. So what's my effective movement speed now? 33%. Okay, so that's just not accounted for because this is way faster than I went before. Nice thing about the Dark Shrines is the shrines stick with you for the entirety of the Labyrinth. So my effective DPS output went through the roof as well, because of course my trap throwing speed is also higher. Also my mana consumption is through the roof now.
An aspirant can afford to be promising. An emperor must keep those promises.
Stash all the things. And see, empty. He is unsupported. No keys for me, but this fight will be the easiest it could be.
Is the most devious trap
So I can't throw traps on there, so I think I'll just use myself. Oh, okay, that's not entirely what I was going for. La 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 la. Goodbye.
Tyranny is inescapable.
I didn't even need to try very much. He just went down.
Before
Funky.
your emperor, you
An orb of immense power.
goddess of
Hurry
justice,
spite.
you are worthy. Receive our blessings, embrace our gifts,
Worthy,
and
worthy.
rise ascendant. For this is the ending
Gloves.
that we all deserve.
Word of the Tempest on hits. So what did that one do again? Charges you with lightning, which lasts a duration before unleashing, damaging surrounding enemies. Technically, I suppose this is a spell. Yep, it says so, because we get fire damage added from our weapon. Skill duration 2 seconds, quite a lot of lightning, trigger spell when you get hit. Okay, that's just a nice safety precaution, but of course that's not the reason why we're here. The other altar is the main reason. So we're playing a Trapper, so of course I'm gonna play a Saboteur. And we ascend.
Need not be present to make a lasting impression.
And then the question is, what are we gonna pick? There's a couple of options, and we're just gonna see what they are. So first path gets us some movement speed and trap damage, which goes to Pyromaniac. I become immune to Ignite and to Shock, which is rather helpful. The Ignite immunity basically means that my energy shield will not be draining empty from getting set on fire, which is nice. Immune to shock means no extra damage taken from getting shocked. Also means, of course, that the burning ground and shocking ground are now no longer useful on me. I'm already immune to frozen, so chilling ground. Well, that's chilling. That doesn't count on that. So never mind. Life regen per trap triggered recently, up to 20%. If you see the speed at which I throw traps, usually... No, that's... Is this triggered? It's triggered. So if you stack a bunch and they explode, you just get a short burst. Every time you trigger a trap effectively, you get 4% of your life regenerated over the next 4 seconds. That's maybe a better way of looking at it. So in a boss fight, if you throw 3 bad traps, you throw your Vaal Arc and you throw like another 4 or 5 arcs, it's very easy to just throw like 8 or 10 traps. So that's a lot of health regen that you get back for it. 25% reduced mana cost of traps in our case, also very, very helpful. It lowers the dependency on mana, makes it more difficult to just drain myself, allows me to shift items maybe a little bit more. But immunity to the status ailments that increase damage as well as some life regen, it's very powerful. Next candidates. We get trap damage and trap throwing speed. Perfect crime. Increased cooldown recovery speed for throwing traps. So that effectively makes me able to use the siphoning trap more often. And bad trap recharges faster. 8% increased damage for each trap. So the more you throw, the more they explode. So for bosses that hold a speech before they become active, if you put... or architects maybe. That's even maybe a better example. Or the Omnitect. 3 bad traps, as well as a Vaal trap, as well as maybe a regular arc trap. You put 5 traps under their feet, that's 40% increased damage on top of all the other ones. 20% chance for traps to trigger an additional time. You get more boom out of your traps. So that's 1 in 5 times that the Vaal Arc will trigger double. That's the one that it's the most swingy for. But the other ones do have the numbers to make up for it. So that's just 20% more damage output. This one, of course, leads into chain reaction, which gives increased trap damage. This is also trap damage and throwing speed. Increased trap damage, another increased cooldown recovery. So in this, together with this one, there's 25% cooldown recovery. Traps have 20% increased area of effect, or the skills used by them. And traps trigger nearby traps, which is interesting. Because if you throw down multiple arcs, they will all trigger at the same time. And people have been saying, once you get to Act 4, once you get the support skills there, have a look at Cluster Trap, since that is going to be worth it. And I suspect combined with the chain reaction, if you trigger one, you trigger all of the cluster. And then you might be throwing less of them. But if they all trigger at the same time, they're still going to hurt like hell. So this is a very nice one to aspire to. But right now I don't think I need more damage. So Perfect Crime and Chain Reaction, they're nice for improving my damage output. But I don't need it, so I think I'm just gonna go for the defensive option and start with Pyromaniac. And then next up we can pick up these. Some other options, we could go for trap damage with elemental resists and then into explosive expert. We get increased area of effect and increased area damage. We don't do area damage with arc trap, since it's just chaining rather than an area. So it's a little less helpful. The area of effect, I'm not quite sure if it also extends to the trap trigger area. But yeah. The decoy totem, of course, will benefit from it. And I suspect the reach for siphoning trap also benefits from increased AoE. So it just can reach further to tag enemies. Damage penetrate 10% elemental resistance. That stacks up very nicely with another source we had of that. Which is... where do I have it? Lightning Pen. So that's 22%. We get another 10% from here. That's 32% in total. And reduce damage taken from traps or mine hits. I Might be helpful in things like the Malachi fight, since Malachi does put down traps and you got those eyes in the belly of the beast. They put down things that look like traps. So maybe for PvP it's helpful, but it's minimal. So the damage penetration is interesting, but overall there's just not a lot here. Down here we got Born in Shadows. Can't be blinded, which is helpful against the occasional enemy that does blind. Reduce damage taken from blinded enemies. Nearby enemies are blinded, so they try to melee me, they become blinded. That cuts their chance to hit me in half. I already got a very high evasion rate, so the effectiveness of blind, it is not as pronounced as it otherwise would be, because I'm already benefiting a lot from it. And of course I do have my Stipnight Flask that I can use for the same effect. 30% increased damage with hits and ailment against blinded enemies, then it becomes interesting to blind enemies. And 25% chance to blind enemies on hit means that Arc is most likely gonna end up blinding most packs and bosses. So this is defensively again very, very helpful. And here we got Bomb Specialist going to Demolition Specialist, which is the mine branch, to counterbalance the trap branch here. Well, for now, let's say we go Pyromaniac and just become very, very defensively oriented. So that concludes Act 3, and then let's go for... Let's see, I want to have a quick look and just play around a little bit with Pyromaniac. So we just go around back here, just kill a couple of monsters. Is there like a buff that you can see somewhere? No, so we got some life regen. Stacks up quite nicely. Of course we do have some life regen from the stone golem already. So that's the base 42 life regen. Well, quite easily every time we trigger trap, another 1% stacks on top. So that is 12 life per second per trap right now. And of course there's no enemies. But I think this is gonna be a fun thing. Of course, not being able to ignite it and shocked, that's helpful, because I think I got shock removal on one flask here. I got burn removal on the other one. I can replace those with other mods. Opens up a lot of options for flasks. Potentially maybe carry an extra utility flask, or maybe even consider a unique flask, because I don't need as many modifiers on my flasks to get rid of all the possible conditions. But I think this could be very, very fun. I think this was an interesting choice. So Pyromaniac it will be. And of course, cheaper traps. That by itself is already a very nice thing. For now though, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching and hope to see you again in next episodes. Bye bye.